My favorite Dick Kernen story is I was lucky enough to work there as an audio instructor. In my very first month, I was teaching this class called Studio Operations, which is basically just telling the students how to run the board, how to do a show, whatever. And it was my first night with the class. And my previous job was a station I was at in St. Joe or Benton Harbor, Michigan, called WSJM. And I had won a Michigan Association of Broadcasters Award for a story that I wrote on the air, and I didn't know that I won. He was at the ceremony in Lansing, and right after I take roll, he walks into the classroom and presents this MAB award to me in front of this new group. I got street cred right out of the jump because Dick Kernen brought this award to me and handed it to me. But, I mean, that's just one of many. Dick Kernen probably single-handedly got me my first 3 gigs in radio. That man was amazing, and most people don't know the career he had before he got to Specs. He was at WRIF when it became WRIF. Legend.
He hired people like Dan Carlisle. I mean, he was a legend back then, and I miss him every day. I mean, Dick and I talked all the time. We saw each other at least once a month. I saw him just before he passed. I went to visit him in the seniors facility that he was living in. He looked great. He sounded great. He was failing, but I guess, I called his wife, Shar, and I said, Shar, and this was during COVID. I said, I would love to see Dick. I'm getting ready to leave for Arizona, and, I just would love to stop by. And she said, oh, my God, Mike, if you could come over, it'd be great. I had to sneak in because they had COVID issues, and I guess Shar said Dick's eyes lit up when he heard I was coming. He was so happy. We took some pictures together. I did most of the talking because he was not in a position to really interface much.
But he knew you were there.
He totally knew I was there. He appreciated it. I wanted to come back the next day with some Buddy's Pizza for him, but they wouldn't allow that. And so anyway, I got to see him just before he passed. And he was a treasure, and everybody has great stories to tell about.
And I'll tell you this, if for no other reason, I think people are going to be interested in my docuseries because Dick Purton, who was also in the movie, but Dick Kernen was the first interview I did in 2014. I went to Specs, and he was the first interview I did for the series, even before I knew what it was going to be. And so to go through this footage of Dick as I remember him, not at the end, when he was having issues. But, I love that man, and I think...
he was a crusty guy.
Yeah.
He was a ton of fun. We were political opposites.
He never pulled punches. He told you what was on his mind.
He was in charge of the clue bus, get a clue. And he's just he is and always will be a legend in our broadcast lives.